which is typically 1% of the purchase price. The repairs exceed 1%, the buyer can cancel the contract, or the seller can cancel the contract if the buyer is not willing to pay the excess amount of what the seller is willing to pay. These documents must be provided to the buyer no later than 20 days after the contract acceptance. So if you're having a short close of escrow, a 2-week close of escrow, you need to have that inspection done by a qualified inspector within pretty quickly, so that the inspection is done and those documents can be provided. And those documents are required by the ADEQ, which is the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality. So that has to be done, and potentially the septic tank also needs to be cleaned out, depending upon what the inspection states, and that again is an expense of the seller. And then once that's all taken care of, there's actually a transfer of a fee transfer, transferring the waste treatment facility or the septic tank from the seller to a buyer, and there's a fee included with that. And on that addendum, it states who will pay that fee, which will be buyer, seller, or you can do a split 50-50. So that's the on-site wastewater treatment facility addendum in a nutshell.
Okay, thank you, Mark. Appreciate it. When you're doing those wastewater treatments, there's an inspection that has to come through for that as well, correct?
Yeah, the seller has to, at their own expense, have a qualified inspection done, and qualified means it has to be recognized. That inspector has to be recognized by the ADEQ. So you just can't have your Uncle Joe take a look at it. But what they will do is they will literally dig down, open up the septic tank, inspect it, make sure the leach lines are working, make sure that it's not full, and that it's operating functionally properly.
Wow. Okay. Well, I mean, Uncle Joe's looking at it. For me, sounds like a great opportunity. I don't know. It's just seems like it's a better opportunity than getting someone. But I've had people who I think the sellers have tried to push it off on the buyers getting the inspection. How does that work legally?
If you can get it in writing, that's negotiable. But the contract, the addendum actually states that it's done at the seller's expense,
right?
But not to exceed a certain dollar amount. So typically, the dollar amount is 1% of the purchase price. However, the seller can put in another dollar amount, so they could put in $200, and if it exceeds that dollar amount, then if the buyer is willing and puts it in writing, the buyer can pay for anything above that.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You know, when we think of the things that we need to do to make our business move or move forward, there's a lot of opportunities for us to make sure that we go out to lead generate, to make sure that we're converting those into appointments. Guys, that should be a part of our goal setting, that we first of all make sure that we're making the phone calls that we need to, that we also are in a position where we are converting to appointments. What does that mean? That means that we need to get out and meet people, be amongst people, so that we can at least sit them down and talk to them, tell them who we are, tell them what we do, and tell them why it's good to either, at this point, as Ricky has talked about, buy a home, because renting is not going to be, it's not going down, and we don't have the rent limits and things like that, or the, I can't think of what you call them now, but I know on the East Coast, many times they have the ceilings of how much you can raise the rent. We don't have those same things, it seems, that keep us in that market. So we have landlords who can basically say, hey, here's what we're going to do with the rent, and, you know, people are either paying them or, you know, maybe they're going to go ahead and get a house. Hopefully we're going to be encouraging people to step out into the market and control their own destiny. I was talking with some former clients just the other day, and and basically this was their first house, and as a first house they were looking at, well, we've got this expense and that expense, maybe we should just still rent. We had to go down a pathway of, okay, if you were still renting, let's see what it would look like. Sometimes you have to take clients down that pathway, or even potential clients down the pathway. Let's look at what it would look like. If you were still renting, you would be paying this. And 5 years down the road, you still have nothing. You don't get the tax breaks. You don't get the opportunity to change the walls or move walls if you want to, or to grow and expand in your own home. Basically, it's someone else's home that you're paying for and making them the millionaires. This is kind of that buy and hold. So someone who has a home that they're leasing out or renting out, you're basically paying their mortgage off for them, and they can raise that mortgage any way they like. I had a client today I was working with, and he's willing to pay $2,000 a month. $2,000 a month for a 1-bedroom, 1-bath, just because he needs a place to stay. That's kind of a tough one to swallow, guys, when you know that for $2,000 a month, if he got the right place, he could buy his own place and now be investing as well as making it an investment. And when he's ready, he can sell it and then have something as a stepping stone to move forward on. So, a lot of different opportunities out there, a lot of things that, we're trying to keep at the forefront of what we're doing. And, we're the ones who are going to take these people there. This is the opportunity. So let's get on it. Let's stay on it, making sure that, we're in front of the buyers and sellers, and we're making sure that we get agreements with them to sign with us so we can walk them through this, turbulent time. Jason indicated as well that there's only about 4,000 and some houses on the market. I mean, there's not a lot of houses that are getting out there, and then the new builds are getting swept up very quickly. So when a new build is out there, they're basically being swept up. I have one client who has a building, a new build out in Goodyear, and basically what he's telling me is they can't get the HVAC in because it's on hold. I basically contacted the builders and asked, hey, can we get a timeline on this? And her response basically was, gee, I wish we could, but take heart, because the same property that you paid $500,000 for is now selling for $580,000. So even before this man has moved into the house, it's gone up $80,000 more. Okay, and they're still building these homes. So this is something that, again, is, if you were doing this or you were thinking about it, guys, it's time to sit down. It's time to put your business plan together. And again, if you're not able to do it alone, let's collaborate together with a couple of people who can. Let's put some pieces together and let's make something happen. Your first one's going to be maybe the toughest one you'll ever do. After that, it's going to be an easy swallow, and you're going to find that this is going to be something you're going to enjoy doing time and time again. You're going to start to duplicate it not only on your own, but duplicating it, to help others as well grow in this same pathway. So this is something that, I'm truly encouraging you all to do, to get to be a part of it. We've got, the oyster as the world is our oyster right now. All we need to do is open it up, stir some dirt up, and get some pearls out of it. Charles, it's on you. It is 6:38. Go, brother. Still out there? Charles. Figures. Okay, so we'll go to Yvonne. Yvonne, tell us what's new out in the market there today. You've got some words for us today?
Hey, guys. As far as the investment properties go, they're, like Ricky said, the market's crazy. Cece and I went out on a call yesterday, looked at a property. They're asking $349 for a 1,600 square foot, 3-bedroom, 2-bath house. I looked at the pictures online, and we went out, looked at it, and it was complete gut. The problem with that house is there was no comps to compare it to because there was trailer houses around it. The lot was big. It was on a big, busy street. And when we got out there, I was like, I don't know where this guy is getting his number from. According to the sellers or the realtor, they said they got an appraiser that went out there and appraised the property. Well, I don't know what he was looking at because that house was probably 150. I was like, I don't know where he pulled that number out from. So it is crazy out there. So if you do see a property online, make sure you go out and look at it first. Because I looked at the pictures and I thought, oh, the kitchen's not that bad. But when we got out there, it was bad.
Not to speak, an addition was on the back.
Oh, yeah. And the addition, it was bad. I mean, the whole thing was just bad. So they're asking $349 for that house. And I was like, no. If anything, someone could come in and use it as an Airbnb or a long-term rental, fix it up. But it was not good for a fix and flip. So they're out there. A lot of what I've learned lately also is there's the investment properties that you're trying. I'm so glad and so happy that Mark and Charles want to teach us about the fix and hold. I've been pushing for that because I think it's going to help everybody, and everything that I've been learning on that is it's a good thing. So I'm excited about it. I hope everybody else is excited about it because this could change everything for a lot of people.
It's good. And you know what? I think most importantly to see as well, Yvonne, is that the things that you're learning of, which ones that are good and which ones aren't. And you're sharing that knowledge as well. That's something that's really important from the perspective that, every home isn't going to be, that gold mine or whatever. There has to be elements to it. And our Fridays, can't think of the name of it. Our cash flow Fridays are a good opportunity as well to see how the process works. But there's nothing like being out there with Yvonne and seeing her assess, as well as with Charles and Mark, and seeing them assess, hey, this one has the possibilities here. This one has possibilities here. This is not necessarily where we want to go. They operate as well, looking in the neighborhood. So there are a lot of elements that come with it. And I couldn't be prouder of our team for being able to step out and share that information with others. So thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you.
So, again, we've got our Fast Start School coming up on the 26th. We're going to have that as well on flyers that'll be coming out. So we want you to start inviting people to the Fast Start School. Mark, do you have any more on that real quick? Look at my guys. They're leaving me hanging all night long. Okay, so Fast Start School will be on the 26th of February. We'll open the doors at 8:30. We will be there from 9 to 1. Should be a fantastic day. Should be a great opportunity, again, to gather information. We will be talking about RPR. We'll be talking about MLS and kind of matching some of the information with that. We do have an attorney who will be coming out and discussing imperativeness of working with our LLC and the advantages of doing that as an agent, and probably even give us some of the steps. I'm working with her right now to find out more on that. I'm working with Sharp Chen. Sharp is going to be out and give us more information on our home choice warranties and a lot of reasons that not only we have those, but why we definitely need them. I can tell you this, I had a client who wanted to forego, and actually at this point has said he's going to forgo the inspection. And here's the problem. I'm looking at a home that, to me,